Okay, so the last place we left off, last session, you guys had done your investigation. You're looking for Alan Roth, the son of Isaac Roth, who is the owner of a fertilizer factory, Roth Fertilizers, in Tacoma, Seattle. He was letting you, he wasn't letting you, he was paying you to try to find his son, who had been missing for a couple of weeks. He was concerned because his son had been involved with some environmentalist group that would they parade themselves as activists, but they're bordering on terrorism sometimes at worst, but at least they do petty crimes, vandalism, and sabotage occasionally. But either way, Isaac Roth was worried that his son was involved with this group because of how it would hurt his image of his company, and also because he didn't want his son being involved in that kind of thing and getting arrested and causing problems for him, his family, and his business. So you guys were tracking him down and following leads all over town, and the last thing you found was a note in, apparently Alan Roth had been dealing with some other guy. Alan liked to visit this farm out in Snohomish and ask a lot about, techniques for farming and whatnot. And recently, Alan had been looking sick, and just last time he had been to the farm, he brought another man whose name was Cyrus Zook. You followed up on the Cyrus Zook lead. You found the guy's apartment, and you happened to actually find a note that was written by Alan in the apartment, which indicated that for some reason they needed to use the factory for some purpose. So you made a phone call to Isaac Roth to let him know. He wouldn't answer, and so you decided to head down to the factory to check it out. And that's when you ran into trouble. While checking it out in the astral plane, Davros ran into some toxic spirits on the factory floor, and that's where you guys left off. The toxic spirits were expertly banished by the Shadowrun newbie Professor Davros, and where we left off, he jumped out of the astral plane, let the rest of the team know, oh boy, there's something crazy going on in there, and you guys were loading out. So that's where we left off, and I'll turn it to you guys. What's up?
We're at the place. Case is going to go ahead and do a check. I know we've checked in Astral. Just see what we got going on in AR in the area.
Go ahead and roll me a matrix perception test.
Yonkers is going to pop an inhaler of jazz.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Well, nothing pops out at you in AR as being out of the ordinary.
So Davros is going to go ahead, and I want to cast armor on myself. Force 3, and that's all. And then it's going to be 3 successes.
Well, first of all, I want to see if there's any cameras in there, and if there are, I'm going to look for the video hub and try to get into that to get the camera feed.
Sure thing. There is a camera on the outside of the building. So let me ask. Let's be a little bit more precise here. Let me ask how you guys are planning on entering the building. So you see the map here in front of you. The parking lot is to the north of the building. Okay. It's a small, yeah, up there, correct. It's a small couple of rows of parking, for employees and stuff. That's probably where you would have pulled in from the street. Now, off to the east on the side there, next to where the loading section is, it's a big open paved area. Normally, when you guys came during the day, that's where the trucks were pulling in and out and loading stuff up and leaving and coming and stuff. Right now, there's nothing there, and the doors are closed, and they're rolling. They're like rolling style garage doors, big metal garage doors. Now, over there are 2 cameras. There's one, right here, and one right here. Kind of on either end of that big giant loading bay. That's what you can see right away. There's no other cameras in the immediate area. there is a maglock on the front door right here.
Okay. Then I would like to go ahead and use my fork program to get 2 marks on each of the camera and snoop on the feed.
Go ahead and roll the marks. You're going to do hack on the fly as usual.
All right, 4 successes.
Standard cameras are pretty simple. So you're trying to wirelessly do the camera, or are you trying to direct line into the camera?
Wirelessly.
All right, so then we go to the host. In that case, not too bad. This is a host. This is a rating 3 host. It's kind of low end commercial kind of host. All right, you got 4 net hits, so you definitely have your 2 marks on each camera. You said you forked it, right?
Yes.
So you got your 2 marks on each camera. Threw your coins at them, ching ching, and you can ask 2 questions if you'd like. I guess I already slipped the rating of the host to you, so you don't even have to ask that one.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's about the only real question to ask. So I was gonna basically make that my question.
Since you've got the marks on the camera, that travels up the line there, so you have 2 marks on the host as well.
All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and do Snoop so I can watch the feed.
All right, go ahead and roll your electronic warfare plus intuition.
5 successes.
We got 4 net hits. All right, well, you're snooping on that feed, on both the feeds again.
Well, what I was looking for is basically the recorder or where all the cameras are feeding to, and try to get the feed from that so I could get a feed from all the cameras. So yeah, Case reaches out for the host icon and opens it up, finds all the icons for all the cameras in the recorder, and then he will snoop in on the feed from the cameras. And then I'm assuming that everybody has their goggles on or equivalent device, and start feeding those out to the other teammates.
The host is not particularly fancy. It actually kind of looks similar to the factory, or it looks like it would be, a generic looking factory with some smokestacks and some machinery and whatnot. So, but in one part of it, along the wall of one of the factory walls, there's a series of like what look like computer terminals. So if you'd like to look for if you're looking for the camera feed, then I guess you would probably do a matrix perception inside the host to see if you can locate it.
4 successes.
All right, yeah, no problem. One of those computer terminals. It looks like those are all kind of just the architecture for the various tasks that are handled inside the host. They're just set up to look like computer terminals. Like one is going to be some fancy looking computer terminal for handling employee files, and one is going to be for handling scheduling and vacations and stuff like that. But one of them is definitely for the storing and handling all of the camera feeds. So you find that, and no problem. It's just a big screen with a bunch of, once you get close to it, it kind of like organically and naturally, the architecture of the place kind of spreads out, and as you get closer to it, it's almost like the area where it's in gets bigger as the computer terminal kind of like blows up and spreads out to this giant screen with a bunch of what look like camera feeds. You can see the feeds of all the different cameras on there. Each of the computer, monitors, screens that you can't see on yet because you haven't snooped them, they are labeled, so you can tell which one corresponds to which camera.
So Davros passed on what he saw.
Yeah, he would have told you that he saw. He fought all these toxic spirits on the factory floor. There was some sort of a magical barrier with a mage in there somewhere.
Okay. Case reaches out and starts flipping through the different camera feeds until he finds the one for the factory floor.
You'll have to roll a snoop on those to be able to listen in.
5 successes.
All right, you definitely have it. Excuse me. So yeah, you can see a camera that's showing down on the factory floor, and it's interesting. You can see a lot of big tanks that are you would expect to see in a fertilizer factory. Lots of chemicals flow through these tanks and pipes all over the place. And in the middle of a bunch of the tanks, you see this large kind of hazy greenish brown dome that is kind of shimmering and flickering, and if you look really closely, you can see the vague figure of a person inside of it doing something.
Okay, he grabs that feed and throws it out to Davros and Yonkers and says, I think we might have a problem. Is this what you were seeing there, Davros?
Yeah, I think that's him right there.
Well, let's get moving before shit hits the fan. And Yonkers is going to go up to the primary door here, check the lock.
Yeah, it's definitely locked.
You said it had a maglock passkey?
Yes, that requires a passkey.
So I will try my maglock passkey against it.
Case messages him out. So after you fail with that there, amateur, let me know. I'll open it up for you.
Oh, you did fail. So it goes, meh.
Yonkers kind of starts jumping on his heels or the balls of his feet and looks over at Case with a sort of, get on with it look.
All right. Case Case will pop open the door. Dang, I'm rolling hot tonight. It's making up for all the fails I had last week.
Famous last words.
Yeah, I thought of that as soon as it was out of my mouth. It's all once from here, buddy.
I mean, you getting the door open is still better than my option.
The Mossberg key.
Break the safety glass and open it from the inside.
It's the Mossberg skeleton key. It'll open any door.
That isn't armor plated.
Depends on the ammo you got.
Before we head in there, I think Davros is gonna summon a spirit just because the other guy had. That seems to be his form of attack. So I want to have at least one right before we go in.
Well, why don't I go in and then you bring up the tail? And you can summon a spirit, but I think we have a time crunch on.
Yeah, I can do it on the fly. It doesn't take any time.
You're not going to burn the place down again, are you?
No, I'm going to let this spirit stay in the astral plane. I don't think our Johnson would be too happy if I burned down his factory.
This is why you summon water spirits.
You were spoofing that camera, right?
Yeah, 6 successes. So, Case sends a command from the host to the maglock to open.
All right, you got it. You've spoofed that maglock.
Hey, Case, once we get inside, walk us through. Lock all the other doors otherwise.
Will do. I'm coming in behind you. I'm in AR, not VR.
So when the door clicks, I pop it open and sweep the hallway immediately in front of me.
Actually, hold on. I was gonna before the door opened. I guess while Case was unlocking the door, I did want to summon a spirit.
All right, do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to use a point of edge to re-roll that.
You only have one left, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I have no more left after this.
All right. I love hearing that. You better start doing crazy, exciting, heroic stuff if you want more edge.
Oh, it wasn't even worth it. All right. So
you
I was
got
gonna
3 hits, right?
Yes.
What force spirit?
Force 5 spirit of fire.
All right. You got 2 net hits on that, so that's going to give you 2 services, I believe is how that works.
All right. Well, apparently I'm really good at not taking drain, just not so good at summoning. All right. So I'm gonna have. Oh, sorry. So it's just gonna be this huge, monstrous, like what a kid would see on TV, because that's basically all Davros is seeing about spirits. So it's just gonna be it's just a huge monster of fire, and but Davros is gonna tell him to stay in the astral plane to not materialize, and he's gonna say stay for now, and then but get ready to attack.
Okay, you've got yourself a Spirit of Fire. I put the token right next to your player token, and you should be able to control it. Just test it out and make sure that you can move it around. All right, well, when you move into the building, yeah, you're moving slowly. There's nothing in there immediately right away as you move down the hall. So where are you headed down this hall? And is everybody sticking behind Yonkers?
I am sticking
Yes,
behind Yonkers.
cases with Yonkers.
Well, seeing as we've been in here before, Yonkers is going to hug the interior wall now that it's clear. He's going to check this, and once the hallway's clear, I'm going to ask Case here, Oi, make sure are these doors here lockable?
Case looks for any locks on the bathroom doors.
Yeah, there's none.
All right, and I don't know if you saw my message. So basically, as we're moving in, Case is going to put his agent on the task of editing their images or 3 images to look like 6-foot rabbits.
On the camera feed, so it looks like 6-foot rabbits are walking down the hall.
Yes.
Nice.
Or down the hole, rather.
Ooh,
That's right.
I see what you did there. I like it. The doors of the restrooms and whatnot are unlocked.
He also goes ahead and checks the office and see if the lockers also have mag locks on them.
The lockers are all electronic keypads.
Okay, so on the office, he's going to go ahead and unlock the office both doors and spoof a command to the outside door and the dock doors to lock. Basically, all outside doors to lock. Case then puts a 3rd mark on the host, 3 successes.
All right, you got it.
And then he will lock the doors. I get no successes on locking the doors, but I did not glitch.
Yonkers goes through. There's several stalls in the bathroom. It's not a single bathroom. There's just a couple of stalls. But as you go through, there's nobody in the bathroom.
Case is just kind of shaking his head and not knowing what to quite think about his inability to lock a damn door.
Shake off the dust. Getting a little rusty. All right, Yonkers. What's Yonkers up to?
So Yonkers is going to be making his way down the hall, slowly kicking in every door as he makes his way past, seeing if anybody's hiding in it.
All right, each of these doors that you go down is fine. You know, there's the restrooms, and those are empty. The dressing rooms are just like little areas with like factory kind of clothing hanging up on the walls. It's like a dressing area. You know, there's overalls and maybe some like protective chemical suits and stuff like that in little tiny stalls with people's names over them. All of those are empty as well. When you get to the office, that door is locked.
All right, well, once I drop on the office, I will stop about where my figure is and do hand signals to Case to, do his wushu. What's the door made of, by the way?
All right.
The door is made of, I don't know, door material. What are doors made out of? Under the barrier ratings table, it would count as cheap material. So a structure of 2 and an armor of 4.
I quietly sneak up to the door and I put my ear up against it.
Give me a perception test.
That's an awesome 2 successes.
You hear some noises in there. You're not exactly sure what they are, but you do hear noises in there, kind of like shuffling and moving.
I'm going to quietly try the door handle.
Well, it's locked.
I was just going to ask how it's locked. Is it physical key, mag lock, something like that?
It's an electronic keypad, so like a number pad.
Awesome. I see how well it takes boot.
It feels weird to do unarmed combat against a door, but I think that is how it works. Let me see. So destroying. Yeah, roll an unopposed attack test. All right,
5 successes on kicking the door.
Yeah, what's the base damage value of your fists?
My boot is currently base 5 physical.
All right, plus your net hits, which is 5. That makes it 10 physical. Yeah, I roll structure plus armor to resist. Oh, my door critically glitched.
I only thought it was locked.
So your foot smashes against the door and it shatters into many pieces as it collapses going inside. And roll initiative.
Okay.
All right, over Yonkers, it's up.
So what do I see inside?
When you bust in the door, you see, bound and gagged, your Mr. Johnson behind his desk in his office. And in front of the desk is a giant noxious air spirit. It's a swirling mass of smoke and putrid-looking brown and green fumes just swirling around, standing in front of you.
I see. Well, happily I'm wearing a respirator, so Yonkers is going to dive at its feet and shoot up through it towards the roof.
All right.
All right, I'm going to do attribute boost. I roll 5 successes to shoot under him. I'm between my bonuses for wireless and adept, that cancels out.
Cool. How much edge do you have left, by the way?
I should be at 2, I believe. I don't remember if I used edge last run or not.
I don't think you did, but if you had used a point of edge, consider yourself to have 2 anyway, so it doesn't matter, because I thought that was pretty cool, you diving like between the guy's spirit's legs basically and shooting up at it. That was pretty awesome.
And that's a burst, so I'm...
Burst gives him a -2, and you have the shotgun, so let me pull up my cheat sheet.
Yep.
Narrow choke.
Medium choke.
Medium choke, yeah, so he has
-5 total.
Yeah, because you're bursting and a -3 for medium. You got 2 net hits.
15 total, right?
Correct. Hardened armor equal to 10, so he took 6 damage.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, really, especially against the spirit. But hey, I finally have something that can withstand your Mossberg. I'm just going to have to start throwing more spirits at you. Alright, it's the spirit's turn. He's not really happy about this. So he kind of steps back and rears up, and then raises one of his kind of whirlwind arms in high into the air and thrusts it down at you and shoots noxious air at you. And you have to defend with your reaction plus intuition.
Just as because I'm going to ask the dumb question, does a respirator help me against this attack?
It will help you with the extra damage that comes from the stuff, but actually you'll need to roll again because you're prone, so you have a -2 to your defense. You actually manage it to defend because he got 3 hits. So you feel the gush of wind come powerfully past you as you roll out of the way. Case.
Okay, Case is going to go ahead and draw his Colt, come up to the door after he hears the shotgun blast, and take a shot. Now, do you want me to do any modifiers for being an AR?
Yeah, it's not particularly noisy or anything here. You know, there's not a lot going on. I won't say that you have a modifier for distractions or anything.
Okay, 2 successes.
You missed. Davros, you're up.
Okay, Davros is going to do what he's done best so far tonight in game. So he is going to try and banish the spirit. And 1 success.
You fail to banish this spirit, but you still
I
have
did.
to roll against 2 drain.
I don't know why I freaking get some good drain rolls.
Yonkers, you're now underneath an air spirit who's gusting air at you.
Is it my go?
Yes, and it's your turn.
I think that the correct solution for this is more bullets. So, do another burst into it. Not as hot this time.
So the spirit manages to dodge this time. So the air spirit's going to go. He's deciding who he's going to take care of first and decides that the guy underneath him is more of a threat, so he's going to again attempt to engulf him. And he got it this time. 2 net hits. So you have to resist 10 physical. That's your damage there, with an AP of -5.
I'm rolling 15 dice before modifiers, so 13 after, plus dodge.
So Yonkers is now engulfed in a swarming air. In order to try to take a any future turns, you're going to have to, on your next turn, use a complex action to try to escape. We'll handle that. Well, when the time comes, it's going to be an opposed test of strength. Your strength plus body against the spirit's magic plus body.
Okay. Case takes aim really, really hard and fires at the spirit. I'm gonna pre-edge. 7 successes.
You got 1 net hit. You see the bullet, it kind of like, as it approaches the spirit, it slows down tremendously, and before it even gets to the spirit, it drops to the ground. Out of character, it didn't exceed his hardened armor limit.
Alright, so you said I have to weasel my way out of this guy's grip?
Strength plus body against his magic plus body.
Right, I'm rolling 8 dice with the damage modifier. Yonkers rolls 1 success.
Alright, you are still engulfed. And here's the downside. You have to resist that damage again.
With Case's free action that he withheld, he's going to send a message to Johnson. Now might be a good time to renegotiate.
Yonkers goes down.
Down?
He is
in
down.
overflow.
The spirit's turn. What would be normally the spirit's head, where its mouth would be if it had a mouth, a gaping hole opens up and shoots toxic fumes at Case. Do reaction plus intuition.
3 successes.
Alright, you are hit. It's a noxious breath, and
Okay, so do I get a chance to resist?
yeah, so you have to do a
The
toxin
damage?
resistance now, which is you have to roll your body plus willpower plus any protective gear that you have.
Alright, so it's not anything to do with armor?
Nope. And each hit you get, this is not an opposed test per se, but each hit you get reduces the power of the toxin by 1, and it's a power of 5.
Alright, that didn't make a whole lot of difference, so 2 successes.
Alright, 2 hits. So you reduce the power of the toxin to 3. What's your willpower?
5.
Alright, so that's good news. That means you are not incapacitated. But you take 3 stun. Alright, it would have been Yonkers' turn, but he's unconscious, so everybody roll initiative.
And I am going to bring the spirit in this time. If that's... Can I do that?
Yeah, well, you can on your turn, you can give him a command. The spirit's going to go first. Now that Yonkers is unconscious, he is going to stop engulfing him. Everyone resist with willpower plus logic. Everyone who's conscious anyway. Okay, you guys are not confused. Davros.
Alright, I'm going to command my spirit to go attack the crazy noxious air spirit. I'm also going to cast a Force 3 mana bolt at the spirit.
Recklessly,
That
no
is-
doubt.
Yes, recklessly cast a Force 3 mana bolt at the spirit. Okay, so I've got 4 successes, so 3 of those count. And I did not take any drain.
So the spirit takes a beam of mana bolt straight into him, and he shakes and says, "Rah!" Case. Yeah, roll the astral initiative of your fire spirit.
Case, this is what I want to do, and you can tell me how I need to do it. Case pulls out a stim patch out of his pocket of stuff and is going to try to get to Yonkers and slap it on him.
You can do that. He's not directly underneath the spirit anymore. There's been moving around. The spirit's backed up a little bit. Yonkers has rolled out of the way of an attack or two before he fell unconscious. So you're able to get to him.
All right, he puts a level 3 slap patch, stim patch on him. And I'm guessing that doing all of that would basically be a complex action and my simple action and my free action and all that all rolled into one.
So since I do this to you guys all the time, I will re-roll the engulf power since I did it out of turn. Ugh, should have kept the
That first engulf was looking pretty good.
Reaction
you
plus
keep that
intuition.
first one.
This is going to hurt, Davros.
Oh, God.
And you don't have any edge left.
House and Malibu are going to come back and find 3 completely new characters.
All right. Well, then you have been
Engulfed.
You've been engulfed. So you need to roll your body plus armor against -5 because of AP against 10 physical.
4 successes.
So you get 6 stun. You're unconscious.
I'm out.
All right, James,
All right.
roll your initiative and give yourself a -10. Case just ran up to you and slapped a rating 3 stim patch on you.
Awesome.
You're at 21. Let me put you in the proper turn order here. So you come alarmingly awake back into the scene, and Case is over top of you, just slapped a stim patch on you, and that thing is still above you. It's now got stream of noxious air flying from its arm, wrapped around Davros.
All right.
It's not your turn yet,
Yonkers,
though. Well, yeah, it is, because Davros just fell unconscious. So yeah, it's your turn.
Yonkers is going to take in a very deep, sudden breath, and seeing the spirit in front of him is going to switch his burst or choke mode to narrow, and give it another healthy 3 rounds of flechette.
So now I only get -1 to defense, but you get an extra damage value.
And I have a healthy 6 successes to hit the sucker.
Yeah, you got 2 net hits. Okay, you blast him with a shotgun. You wake up suddenly, whip out your Mossberg again, pull it up to the ready, and fire it straight up at the guy. And as the flechette flies through the spirit and against the wall, it dissipates the magical energy of the spirit, and it writhes and disappears. And Davros falls to the ground, still unconscious, but he collapses because he was being held in like swirling air upright, and now he collapses and falls onto the ground.
All right, Cases sees Davros hit the ground. He's, oh, what the frack is this Drek? And he goes over and slaps a stim patch on him, level 3.
Yeah, take off 3 stun there, Davros.
So, Yonkers is going to be a little bit panicky and breathing and sounding like Darth Vader after running a marathon.
The Johnson behind the desk is got something in his mouth, over his mouth, and he's tied up, and he starts squirming, going.
After slapping a patch on Davros and make sure that he starts stirring around, he walks over to the Johnson, pulls out the gag, and says, "Now, this has gone beyond finding your son. Now we're here saving your business. So, what do you say about an extra 2,500 on top of the 10,000 he's paying?"